Hey guys, Ryan Lowry here, and so I wanted to create this video kind of as an entire recap of the experience at Rhythmia in Costa Rica, and wanted to just give you guys an overview because before I had gone or before I had even got in touch with the team there that wanted me to come out and just experience what it was like for a week, I had no idea what to expect. I was scared, and for me, even though I travel a lot, being gone for a week is like a lot. Like being away from Scooter, being away from my family, being away from my team, like it's a long time. And so I was super nervous about it. And so I wanted to document this entire thing really to give people perspective and give you kind of some of my takeaways of what the trip was like, what the experience was like, a whole new family that I created while I was there, some amazing friends, and just a really, really powerful trip. And I want to preface this that this is not paid or an advertisement whatsoever. I get $0 from Rhythmia for saying this. I truly want to share this as a token of my appreciation of what I got from this and what I gathered, and as you guys will see, some of what I lost or let go throughout this entire journey. And it was one of the most beautiful experiences of my entire life, one of the most challenging experiences of my entire life, and something that I just want to preface with you guys is a lot of times, and even the team might tell you, oh, this is going to be a vacation. If it's a vacation, it's a working vacation. This is not something where you go and you're just like, oh, it's going to be magical and relaxing. And though there are plenty of opportunities for there to relax and enjoy, you're working. This is something that completely can transform your life, and it has. And you know, my first introduction to plant medicine or hearing about ayahuasca or anything like that really came from a friend of mine, Aubrey Marcus. The first time I had ever met him and was doing a podcast with him, we were sitting in the sauna afterwards. We had just got done with a workout, and he couldn't stop for 30 minutes. He was talking about plant medicine, some of the things he's experienced, and how his faith has grown due to the overwhelming amount of ceremonies he's done. And I was like, I don't know if I could ever do that, right? Like, I've never done mushrooms or LSD or anything that's like super experiential drug-wise in my life. Like, that sounds pretty intense. And little did I know it would be a life-changing opportunity, a life-changing situation for me. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm going to bring you along the entire journey and recap and give my closing thoughts now that I'm 2 weeks out from my journey at Rhythmia, and I just want to give you guys some perspective. So appreciate you guys, and let's see what the entire experience was like. All right, guys, good morning. It is travel day. We are getting ready to get on a flight to Miami and then to Liberia, headed to Rhythmia. So I'm super excited. I've been looking forward to this for a really long time. No better way to start the year, start a decade. And so I'm excited to bring you along for the ride. This is the toughest part, of course, saying goodbye to this guy. Come here. Oh boy, look at this guy. It's the worst part. But I'm gonna talk to him every night. He's gonna be with Grandma and Grandpa on FaceTime, so it'll be worth it, but I promise. All right, guys, I'll bring you along for the ride. Appreciate you guys joining this journey, and Costa Rica, Rhythmia, here we come. All right, guys, we landed in Costa Rica. Just getting ready to get my bags. Immigration took forever, but it's all good. It's all good. I'm super excited to be here. Excited to explore, get to Rhythmia, and just relax for a little bit. So I'll show you guys the process of just like getting on the shuttle and getting there and what the room looks like. So as you can see, the journey for me to get to Costa Rica was fairly easy. I just flew from Tampa to Miami straight into Liberia. It took me a little while to get through customs, so it took about like an hour and a half. And then when you get there, you could see and you saw like there was someone waiting for you. I was super nervous because you're going into another country, and you're like, is someone gonna try and kidnap me? Like, you have all these fears, right? And so there's someone standing there with a Rhythmia sign ready to pick you up. And when I first got there was 4 other people waiting in the same van for me. one of which was my good friend Eric, who you will hear from in a little bit. And that's really the first core group of people that I met along this journey. And we all got on the van together, took off, and the van experience took about an hour and a half to get to Rythmia. So it's a long van ride. So it's far away from the airport, just something to keep in mind. When you get there, it's really just getting your room, getting everything set up, getting everything organized, and you get a master calendar. And I want to show you guys this master calendar so you can see this, but this master calendar has basically your entire agenda for the entire week. And coming from someone who likes to be super planned out, like, this was amazing to see that, like, we had certain things we had to attend, some things that were optional, when we were going to have dinner, and when the plant medicine ceremonies were. And so it was super organized in that regard, and really got us ready for the entire week. All right, guys, it is, what time is it? 9 o'clock, just got back to the room. Honestly, incredible day. I just got checked in, so I want to show you guys first. I want to show you around the room a little bit and show you a little bit of what a room looks like in case someone's coming to Rythmia. You want to know, like, hey, what do the rooms look like? I'll show you. So when you first walk in, you got a little counter here. This is cool. You get like a little cool Rythmia bag with your workbook in it and your coins. So one of the things to understand is that everything here is paid for. Let me get this out via these coins. So when you come, you're going to end up having these, right? So I'm doing 2 Dead Sea cleanses. I have 4 ceremonies and a massage. So that's the currency here. So you pay with everything with coins. And then you come over here. You typically have a roommate. I don't this round, but typically you have a roommate. There's the other bed. You have a little desk to kind of get some work done. I'm going to try and get some work done before I head to bed tonight. And then here's the bathrooms with some storage. You got plenty of space to hang stuff up in. And then that's me. And then shower, right? It's a nice little room. I mean, cool little setup. Everything you would ever need, right? All at once. So I want to give you guys a little recap of what today was like. All right, guys, a little real talk now that I'm settled in, ready to rock and roll. Today was really amazing. One of the things I'd recommend is make sure you arrive early because you want to give yourself time to get checked out by the doctor, get everything set up, check into your room. So that was nice. And then also, what the amazing part about this, I think there's benefits of coming alone and coming with someone else. There's a lot of people that I've met today that have come with someone else. There's a lot of people that I met that are here alone, and hopefully I'll be able to show you some of them and introduce you to some of them. But they're all here for different reasons, right? And some people don't even know why they're here. They've heard about it and they want to experience it. Some people have a very strict intention. And so that kind of brings me to my next thing. So tonight, I was hesitant of doing this breath work. I have no idea what it means, and I didn't understand what it would entail, and it was 2 hours, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me, like, I'm exhausted, this is brutal. But it ended up being one of the most powerful things that probably I've experienced anytime I've ever, like, beyond what I normally would experience with meditation, right? For me, I've really never done breath work before, ever, and so it was definitely an interesting experience. Basically, the goal of it is somewhat oversaturating your body with oxygen. The way you're breathing, the way you're getting set up, it's oversaturating your body with oxygen, and it creates this feeling of like paralysis in some regard. You get tingling sensation, and you're getting tetany inside of your body, and I talk about that in some of the videos that you'll see. You get tetany where like your hands and everything starts to get really rigid, but you get into this deep state of meditation. And for me, that was really my first interaction with my grandmother, and you guys will hear a lot more about that throughout this entire week. And for those of you who don't know, I'll give a little background on my grandmother because that's going to be really important as I go through this week. So my grandmother passed away far too young. She was really out of nowhere. She was overweight, she was obese, but out of nowhere she basically was rushed to the hospital, had a heart attack, and there was complications at the hospital where they thought she was going to be okay. They had a bunch of tubes down her throat, and she went into cardiac arrest. Doctors were on top of her trying to get her to come back, and she ended up dying in an elevator at a hospital. And it took our family by complete surprise. Was literally with her the week before. And my grandmother, like most big Italian families, was the rock of our family. And so it was a big hit. It was a big, big, big hit. I was young, but I had a very special connection with my grandmother, and I still do. And this week kind of brought out even more of a clear direction of my purpose and my intention and what I'm planning to do to help keep her legacy living on in the future. Last night I was super, super emotional because this happens for an hour, and I was crying like a little baby, and it was one of the most magical moments that I've had in a very, very long time, and that was powerful, right? And it involved literally me seeing my grandmother, who you guys know is an instrumental part of my life, reach out and bring me through my childhood. And the best part about the entire thing is we went through relationships, we talked about them. It was really, really, really interesting. The best part about it was at the end, she sat down in her chair that I remember so vividly inside of her house. She sat down. I went over and I gave her a huge, huge hug, the hug that you just really need from grandma sometimes. And that's when I really started crying because I could feel it. So Saturday night was my first introduction to my grandmother, literally going back to her house, seeing her extremely, extremely vividly in her chair, the painting above her chair, and everything. And so I wanted to give you a little overview of what Saturday was like, and so you can see some of that, and then we'll jump into Sunday. I was thinking in my head, towards the end of it, I was thinking, I could leave tomorrow and come here and be I got a shit ton out of that experience. That's how powerful the breath work was, and the women who are guiding us through it, the breaths, my entire body went numb at one point, started to feel tingling and letting out emotional release, and there was just and there was nothing involved, no medicine whatsoever. It was just breath work, and you do this every night. So I'm excited to share what happens over the next couple days. But it was just one of the most powerful things to experience some of the emotions that I've been experiencing lately, especially with the start of a new year and things that I've carried with me up to this point, and just letting them go. Forgiving yourself. There's a lot of shit that probably sat on my shoulders for a very long time, and that's the type of person I am, is I try and take bullets, and I'm fine taking arrows for people, but eventually you need to clear those arrows, clean the wound, and get ready for another round. And that's the mentality that I'm going into this with, is I love being the leader that can take the arrows, and I'm all for that. And I'm going to continue doing that. But at some point, you need to pull the arrows out, clean up the wounds, recover, and be ready for battle again. And there's a lot of that, and I have a strong feeling that over the next couple of days of ceremony, it's going to be very similar in that regard, and I'm beyond excited for that. Morning, guys. Day 2. Got a great night of rest last night. So this morning gonna hit the gym and then probably head to the beach before orientation tonight. So super, super excited, getting in the right flow state, getting in the right mindset, but I will show you what the gym looks like. Here we go. So this is what the spa looks like. right, so Sunday you wake up, you get good quality breakfast, and you guys will see a lot of pictures and videos of what the meals look like, and Meg, who's the head chef, does an incredible job. So it's primarily plant-based. I thought it was going to be entirely plant-based, but they also offer some animal options. So like in the morning they have eggs, and they also at lunch and dinner they usually have like a chicken and a fish. So it's all locally sourced. So I didn't get a chance to try that because during this entire journey I'm also doing a 30-day vegan experiment, which will be a completely separate video. But so I stayed vegan this entire time, and so the food options are amazing. Sunday's really a day for exploring and relaxing, getting to know the people that are there, and so we ended up going to the beach.
What's up, guys? Just got to the beach. Look at this. Water's beautiful. It's kind of like a little private beach outside the JW Marriott, but literally just took a 15-minute bike ride from Arrhythmia, hopped on bikes, super easy, came with 2 friends, and yeah, we're down here gonna spend some time grounding, getting our feet in the sand, and just relaxing for the day, right? Getting ready for a big week ahead. So yeah, if you ever come down here, the water is amazing. Look at this, can't beat it. Crazy part about it, and I didn't even mention this before, we are in one of 5 blue zones. I talk a lot about being in and around water, and if you look at all 5 blue zones, they're all around water, and where we're at right now in Costa Rica specifically is one of those blue zones. So absolutely amazing. Excited to dive in, gonna be present here and relax for a bit. We'll see you soon.
It was amazing. Enjoyed time on the beach. You're in a blue zone. There's only a handful literally in the world, and you're in one of the blue zones in Costa Rica, so we had to go to the beach, and it was really a good way to kind of refresh, get your mind ready, and get ready for Monday, because as you will see, Monday is jam-packed with information, jam-packed with content, and really you're getting ready to go in to your first plant medicine ceremony. Monday is pretty intense, right? In the morning, you get to meet Jerry, who's obviously a interesting character. If you haven't read his book, Shit the Moon Said, I highly recommend it. If you're interested whatsoever in plant medicine, it's all about his journey. And I actually have a podcast that I will link below that I sat down and got a chance to speak with him. 1, about his journey, 2, all about Rhythmia and what people can expect in their future plans. So if you're interested in hearing more about what you can expect to hear from Jerry, or Gerard Powell, the CEO of Rhythmia, and really the guy who created it, from directions that he got from the moon. And so I'll tease you with that. But yeah, it's just an incredible time hearing his journey, what he experienced, kind of why Rhythmia is the way it is. I needed a lot of guidance, and I needed a lot of support, and I needed to feel secure, especially after what happened to me on Monday night. All right, guys, it is the night. So we are getting ready for ceremony. You can see I'm wearing all white. That's either going to be a great decision or a rookie mistake. I will let you know. Excited, nervous, anxious. That's the only way to describe it. I've talked to a lot of people who have done it. I've talked to a lot of people who are first timers. Listen, tonight's the theme that Jerry was telling us earlier today, the theme is surrender. There's gonna be shit that comes up that you wanna escape, but tonight the goal is to run towards it. Because if you really need to address it, that's how you do it. Stop running away from your issues. So this is it. This is the last time I'm going to talk to you guys tonight. We are going to ceremony. It's from 5:30 p.m. until like 1 or 2 a.m. And then I'll be recovering tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, same thing. So hopefully I'll be able to check in with you guys sometime tomorrow morning before the next ceremony. But honestly, based on last night's breath work, I'm super excited. I know there's going to be some hurdles. I know there's going to be some amazing breakthroughs, but I'm here to surrender. I'm here to just be present and be curious, right? I think that's the only thing I wanna challenge everyone here, no matter what you go through in life. I think it's important to just be curious, right? Be open-minded, understand different aspects, and tonight I am going into this with the biggest open mind and just curious to see what comes my way. Monday night is your first ceremony to get you ready. And it's interesting because before you go into ceremony, everyone's nervous. You have a couple veterans that are back and they've done ayahuasca before, or they've been to Rythmia before and they're back. So it's really great to see their confidence, and they kind of get everyone's nerves down a little bit. But the ceremony's magical, and it's really well done, and something that made me feel completely comfortable. It's not just like you're in the middle of the forest on the ground. Like, it's extremely comfortable, and that made me feel great. And I'll let my recap on Tuesday morning fill you in on what happened on Monday night. Good morning, guys. This is Tuesday morning. Last night was our first night of ceremony, and it was intense. It was definitely intense. You can't really prepare for it other than just letting shit happen. There was a lot. I didn't purge, like throw up or take a shit or anything. Like there was a lot of that happening, but for me, it's just beautiful colors and imagery, and some people that in my life that like randomly came up but then randomly went away. Like, just wild stuff. I think it's setting me up for the rest of the week. But the one thing that I did take away from yesterday, and you could see my necklace is like really black, and there's a reason why. It wasn't like this, but so my entire life I've always tried to push, right? Keep pushing the boundaries, keep going, do more. And like, I love that. Like, that's who I am. I very rarely say no to an opportunity. And people, my parents and people and friends always are just like, dude, you're gonna burn out one day. You're gonna burn out. And so they called for the second cup of ayahuasca, and my mind and my body was like, you got to do it. Like, even though like I was seeing all these different things and my eyes were closed, like, you just got to do it. You can't say no. You got to just keep going. And there was a lot rooted in that. And I remember getting up, and I went over, and as soon as I got up, and I was like, I'm not okay. It looked like something like it was an out of body experience. Like, I could see myself laying down on the floor on the mattress, but I got up to go, and then I saw everyone in line, and everyone had their buckets, and I was like, oh, I'm fine. Like, I haven't thrown up all night. And then I started to get a little sick, and I'm like, oh boy, this isn't going to end well. And then next thing you know, I'm passed out on the ground, and the amazing team here comes over, and I don't know how long I was out, to be honest with you. I just like felt my hands on the floor. I was in the middle of the floor, not on a bed. And I guess I was trying to go back to my bed, and they had come over, and they were fanning me, and they were all around me and blowing on me, and it was just amazing. They were super supportive. That's why I would not do this anywhere else. Just because of that, even that one thing alone, like the amount of comfort I felt after that, of like, okay, even in my worst, like, they're going to be here to help me. And so that was really nice. And so I ended up going back over to bed, and they helped me get back over to bed. So I didn't end up having a second glass, and just a couple more beautiful images, some tough ones, and then just really tired. The guy next to me said I was snoring for like an hour, which typically me, when I go horizontal, I'm out. But yeah, it was a really interesting experience, and I'm still a little tired today. I'm still fasted, so I've been fasted for over 30 hours now, and completely fine. This morning I went to the gym, but like just got a mile in, nothing too crazy. Gonna go to a couple presentations later on today, and then tonight we have another ceremony. So just amazing. And one of the ladies, actually someone that I had not met, told at the end you do like a group share, and she shared her experience was like seeing me, I hate the word, use the word collapse, but like fall down, and like basically seeing like my soul, like my body kind of like leave. Like that was her big awakening takeaway from the night, and like how much the team was there to help me. So that was amazing to hear. And then I shared, I was like, yep, that was me. I was that person. So just an interesting night. No huge breakthroughs other than that sole fact. I mean, I guess that is a huge breakthrough of like, just take it fucking easy. Like, you're going to kill yourself if you keep pushing at that high of a rate, and your body's just not going to be able to handle it. And that was really my big takeaway for the night, and probably a big takeaway that to implement in life is like, sometimes you just need to reset and you need to relax. Like, you can only push so far, and I'm the type of person who will push my body to the brink of collapse. And last night was probably a good example of that. And so, yeah, just wanted to share that with you guys. I don't know how much more sharing I'll be doing of the different experiences, but I just want to try and keep it real with you guys, keep it authentic, transparent, and share with you experiences, and hopefully be able to share with you some of the other experiences of some of my friends that I've already made here. Just getting up, getting ready to head to the gym, but you know, it's just wild. You go back and forth of just thinking like, is this complete and utter bullshit, or is like this really real? And the medicine just, it shows you really the truth. And last night was pretty normal. Like, nothing crazy happened for me. First night I literally couldn't drink more than 1 cup. Tried for the second one, didn't make it. Last night I had almost 3, like 2 3/4, and didn't really feel anything, which was crazy. And they're different brews, right? Last night was Brad's brew, so maybe that was it. I also had lunch, but I mean, there were some other things that were just powerful. There was a lot of forgiveness. So the first night I couldn't even walk. Last night I got out and sat by the fire and sat outside for a little bit, and it was purging of being able to like take some guilt and some anger and some frustration that I've kind of held on to for various different things that I don't think I'm ready to share yet, but just putting them inside the fire and watching them burn was so relieving, and I started to cry a little bit. And that was, I guess that was probably the biggest powerful takeaway from last night. And there were some people who had some crazy breakthroughs, and I'm super happy for them. So really powerful stuff. And yeah, it's just never, you always try and fight it. And the amazing part about it is, if anyone's ever done ayahuasca before, you always think like, oh, I can control this, or oh, I'm gonna direct where this is gonna go. I want to focus on this, or I want to try and target this. I want to focus on this part of the business, and it just says absolutely not. Like, you cannot control it whatsoever, and you're like, come on, I really want to focus on this. I want to focus on this relationship, or I want to focus on trying to be a better person, or trying to contribute more. It takes you where it needs to take you, not where you want to go. And so last night was pretty mild for me. A little tired this morning, probably, as you could see. Gonna go get a workout in, maybe head to the beach. And tonight we have a ladies' night, and I'm excited about that. It's a very feminine ceremony. Hello, what's up, little man? What's up? Hi. Hello. Hi. Hello. Hello. Get my blanket all dirty. So anyway, tonight, look at this. If this isn't a sign, I don't know what is. There's a million places he can go on the beach, but he's hanging out down by my towel. But anyway, tonight's ladies' night.
super excited. It's going to be interesting. Very, very feminine night, a female shaman. So just ready to take it all in, and I will keep you guys posted tomorrow of how it goes tonight. So love y'all. Remember, blue mind. Keep that always. Look at that.
Last night for me, the miracle happened. It sounds fucking crazy to even, like, I feel like I sound like crazy and out of my mind because sometimes it just doesn't make any sense of, like, I don't know. I can't put words to it, but I feel like I sound crazy, and people are gonna watch this and be like, this dude's out of his mind. Like, I have no idea why I'm ever watching a video on him again, but let me put it this way. I come from a very scientific background. In order to come into something the right way, like, you need to come in objectively. Like, I didn't come in with this huge expectation that I was gonna see this breakthrough, and I didn't come through with this huge pessimism of like, I'm not gonna see anything. Like, I just came in neutral. And last night was probably one of the most amazing nights of my entire life. Raven, one of the shamans, was the leader of that ceremony, and it was just a magical ceremony, and there was women singing and playing instruments, and that was really my big breakthrough, really where I connected very, very deeply and got to ask my grandmother a lot of questions that I needed answered. Last night, I go up for my first cup, and it was the same thing. I was like, you gotta be kidding me, because this morning I interviewed Jerry, and I'll post that link for you guys so you can see the podcast. He's gonna be the first podcast of 2020. And I took the first cup, and I remember thinking in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna have to interview this guy tomorrow and be like, you're so full of shit. Like, there's nothing, like, I didn't feel anything. I passed out Monday night. I didn't feel anything Tuesday night, and now I took another dose, and like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, absolutely nothing. Like, this is bogus. Like, the most ridiculous thing in the world. And then I went up for my second dose, and after the second dose, I remember I started to get this little, like, feeling in my pinky toe, and then that translated into, like, all my fingers and my right foot starting to go, and then my entire right foot started going like crazy, like uncontrollably, and I'm conscious, like I'm not, like I'm sitting there, I'm sitting up, and my foot, I see it going back and forth, and I'm looking at my friend, and everyone's just like looking at me, and like people that are up are just like seeing my foot go, and I'm like, I can't control this. So I won't go into too much detail because it's just still a lot to process. I end up going over to Christian, one of the shamans, and at this point, now both of my legs are going in and out, my left and right, uncontrollably, and I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, I could, weirdly, like, I could stand up and walk, and they were fine, and they were just like, you could feel like a lot of like they wanted to move, and the minute I lay down, or the minute I put them up, like, they would move uncontrollably, and it was the weirdest thing in the world. Like, I literally wish I would have had my camera to record it. I couldn't, like, people would just be like, you're out of your mind, but I could not control them. And so I said to Christian, I'm like, I can't control my legs. I'm sitting there, and he laughed and he smiled. He goes, it's good. He goes, it's energy. And he ended up rubbing lotion on my body, and I'm like, he's just like, God bless you. And he walks away, and I'm like, you're kidding me. Like, you're gonna leave me here with this in my legs? And thank God he did, because I ended up going back over to my bed, and I'm like, you know what, maybe this is it. Like, maybe this is a sign. So I end up, again, I sound fucking crazy, but I end up like talking through it, and I'm like, start asking questions. Like, I'm like, is my name Ryan? And like my legs stop, and I'm like, all right, this is fucking weird. I'm like, is my name Steven? My legs start going. I'm like, okay. And I start asking like deep questions. I'm like, is this my grandmother talking? Feet stop. And I'm like, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, this is my grandmother coming through in my right leg, and what I believe is Mother Ayahuasca in my left leg, like communicating back and forth. And I shit you not, I'm sitting here asking questions, and I'm trying to like stump them. Like, I'm trying to be like, oh, like, I ask a question about like, ask me, or I'd ask a question about keydrink.com, or I'd ask a question about this, and like sometimes I would be like try and throw them off with the wrong answer, and like they would know, or I'd be like ask them something that like only I would know, and like my legs would stop, and I'm like, yeah, be kid, like literally the most absurd thing in the world. Amazing stuff. I'm still processing it, and it was magical. Like, I ended up going outside, I ended up crying because there were some hard fucking questions that I asked about family members and friends and things that I should do, or how I am and things that I need to improve on, and they were hard questions, but I needed to ask them, and my grandma was there to answer them, and we made a pact. And there's a lot more to the story. I went outside, someone put a blanket over me, and my legs stopped, and then my hand started to go, and I'm literally sitting there on the ground outside looking at the moon, asking questions, and my hand, she's speaking through my hand. It was just unbelievably magical, and it was a true breakthrough moment for me here, and it still sounds fucking crazy to even talk about. So I'll leave it at that. I want to try and get more people to share their story, because some people are just having incredible experiences, and there's nothing scientific that I can use to explain what's going on, but it's amazing. Tonight we have a Colombian medicine in 10 minutes. Actually, I gotta head there now. With Colombian medicine, it's all night. It literally starts at 7:30, later than usual. We go till 9 in the morning, so it's gonna be a long ass night, but I'm not scared at all. I'm actually pretty excited and just curious, and hope I can reconnect. But I hope I hope I'm there. Maybe my purpose tonight's there to help facilitate and help some other people get their miracle and get their magic tonight. And so Thursday was a rough night, not only for me, but for everyone. I say rough not from a negative aspect, but it's a battle, right? It is an absolute battle, and I think people need to go through that, and I think Jerry's done a phenomenal job structuring the program that way, that there are some people that go into Thursday at an all-time high, and that was me. I had an extreme breakthrough on Thursday, which was incredible. It was what I needed, and that we call it achieving your miracle. Like, I was there. But there were some people, some of my friends, and some of the people that are part of this tribe now, that went into Thursday at an all-time low, like super depressed, super sad, like had a lot of stuff going on that got brought up that they weren't able to get through, and Thursday's really their last chance to like break through. And you could still have breakthroughs afterwards, but really Thursday is the late ceremony. It starts at 7:30 and it goes till 9 o'clock in the morning, and it is intense. That's just the only way I can describe it. It's absolutely intense, difficult, rewarding, breakthrough, enlightening, and it's the most beautiful thing when you wake up and it's 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning and people are dancing and they're beautiful and everyone's happy and excited and you're no longer tripping. Some people are still tripping, but it's just a beautiful sight to see, and something that I would never expect in a million years. And my experience after Thursday night, Friday morning was a lot of forgiveness and love that I was suppressing deep down, of people who might have wronged me in my life, or people that I thought might have wronged me in my life, or people that just I had some suppressed negative energy towards. And there's nothing better in this world than being able to forgive someone who's done you wrong. And for me, that was like, to be able to forgive someone who's done you at that degree, but even people who have tried to beat you down, people who have tried to ruin your career, people who have tried to ruin relationships, people who have tried to ruin businesses. Like, to be able to forgive someone at that level is one of the most rewarding things in the world. It's the most difficult thing to do, no ifs, ands, or buts, but there are so many people who came out of Thursday night, Friday morning with a sense of forgiveness that ultimately drove them to love, that ultimately allowed them to really come closer to their potential and understand their reason and their why for why they're here, where they're supposed to go, why they're doing what they're doing, and pull them even further towards getting to where they're supposed to get and hitting their potential. And that was just a magical experience. It's not something I'm going to rush into immediately again, because like I said, it's work. Like, it is work to get through, particularly that Thursday night, Friday morning. But the outcome, the reward at the end of the journey is so worth it. What just happened? What just transpired over the last 4 or 5 days? And where do I go from here? Right? And so Friday, for me, I went with Eric and another friend of ours. We ended up going zip lining and horseback riding, which you guys will see.
Breathe in, settle down, keep it together now. Your kin are all around, holding the life out. The days, they never change to fit the way we made emotion. Overcame, chasing the cold away. Fall away. Where do we go at the close of the day? Hiding the hollows of your fate. Fall away. Keep it close always. What we know of love and pain, and all you built up in vain falls away. Reaching out for a spark.
Thanks, bud.
Satellite in the dark.
That was an incredible journey, just to be able to release and get away for a little bit, get off campus, and just enjoy the process. And then Friday night, we come back and there's breath work and really anchoring in what everyone's intentions were, their process. And there's 3 different steps you guys saw that about really integrating this in and showing us who we are and allowing us to love ourselves and achieve our miracle, right? Like, very, very specific and instrumental processes in order for us to get to that end goal. And Friday night breathwork is really there to anchor that process in, anchoring in exactly what we did, anchoring exactly what you experienced. A lot of people still had achieved their miracle, but some people still had unanswered questions, me included. Like, how do I find, like, how do I go back and tell people this without sounding like an absolute lunatic? Like, this sounds absolutely crazy. I'm supposed to be this scientific, rigorous guy, and like, there's no scientific explanation to explain this. And I'm trying to doubt everything that just happened, right? And that sounds like very pessimistic for someone who's an extremely optimistic person, but like, I'm trying to challenge the status quo of like, it must have been made up. Like, maybe there was programming, maybe there's neural programming done. Like, I know that there's psychology involved, but if that were the case, then everyone would have like the same ups and downs. And like, some people were at their all-time low when I was at my all-time high. Some people were at their all-time high when I experienced absolutely nothing. So it's like, and we all went to the same classes, so that was out of the question. And sometimes you just have to have trust. And the theme of really what Jerry talked about and the entire team at Rhythmia talked about was letting go, right? Sometimes you just got to let go and just allow it to happen. And that was really my anchor for Friday night before I headed off to the airport early on Saturday morning. And so I wanted to recap that. And before I give you my final overall thoughts, I want to share with you an extremely powerful story from a great friend and brother of mine now, and just an incredible transformation. And the interesting part about it, and him and I haven't even talked about this, but I'm super thankful that he wanted to share this with you guys about Eric's experience, because Eric came in and it was weird because Eric and I actually flew in on the same flight from Miami. He was visiting his parents and we got on the shuttle together, and I could instantly tell, like, I was like, you know what, like, I'm going to be hanging out with this guy. Like, it's someone that I'm like, I could go into the beach with and like just hang out and go through this next challenge of this week with. And we ended up becoming really good friends, and we still stay in touch, and I'm hopefully going to see him when I'm in LA here soon. Keep in mind and be open to the fact that the challenges he went through and he continuously has gone through can be applied in multiple different ways. It doesn't just have to be applied to someone who's battling, going through a transgender experience. It can be applied to someone who's battling through any obstacle in their life, and his mindset and his ability to let go, and what it really took for him to break through with his experience with Brad on Tuesday night, one of the shamans, and then kind of his huge breakthrough on Thursday was just powerful. Like, I remember him first telling me, and I tried to stay strong, but later on I was just thinking about it and I started to cry for just so many reasons of people who struggle with identity crisis, or people who are struggling with not feeling confident in being who they are. And I'm super proud of him and super excited for his future, because like he mentions, this is really the first day of his life, was on Friday. And so I'm going to pass it along, and you guys, I'm happy to introduce you guys to Eric and show you his story.
Hey, I'm Eric Kessler. I'm 29 years old. I live in Los Angeles, California. Last week I went to Rhythmia in Costa Rica for a week of plant medicine. I went with the intention of healing physically and mentally from years of trauma. I've spent thousands of dollars on everything from physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncture, and other types of alternative medicine, looking for solutions to chronic pain and depression. At Rhythmia, I was hoping for just some relief. I was surprised though when the end of the week came, and the amount of relief I felt was beyond anything I could have ever imagined. A little background about my story: I'm a transgender male. When my body hit puberty and started to develop as a female, life became a war with myself. I started abusing myself and let others abuse me too. Prior to my trip to Rhythmia, I had been in pain physically and mentally since the onset of puberty. Even after I started transitioning to male, I still was unable to feel safe in my own skin. Tuesday night, during our second ceremony, I spent the first half of the night terrified. At one point, my left arm started tingling and my chest was hurting. Scared that something was actually wrong, I got up and went to the main shaman and told him. He reassured me that everything we feel in the medicine is normal and I was okay, and then asked me to take my shirt off and told me he would perform a healing on me. I sat there with my eyes closed and legs crossed as he performed healing techniques. The result was a miracle. I got up, and not only was the numbness and chest pain gone, but it felt like a weight was lifted out of me. The knots in my shoulders that had been there for years were gone. I was no longer constricted when I took a deep breath. A lightness and a freedom overcame my body, and for the first time ever, I felt safe in my own skin. It was truly a miracle. Wednesday night, I continued to heal my body from head to toe of pain that had been crippling me for years. I cried, I laughed, and I learned to love myself for the first time ever. Thursday night was not an easy night, but ultimately ended with what I now call the first day of my life. I spent the first half of my night experiencing all the pain I had ever put my female body through. It was hell. It then became clear that in order to move forward, I would have to put that girl to rest. She was still stuck in me even though I had begun my transition. Somehow, I accidentally ended up in the women's healing circle after waking up from a nap and not knowing what was going on. It was there I was able to separate from her and lay to rest peacefully. The night continued with a men's healing circle. This was the most powerful moment of my week. I laid with the fellow men in our group, shirtless in the center of the ceremony space. My pelvis and legs began to shake uncontrollably as the shamans performed healing on us. They shook the whole time. As the circle came to an end, I found myself hysterically crying. My body was becoming my own. The pain was being released, and I was being born into the man I was always meant to be. I was free at last, and I could not stop crying. My body and me were finally one. The pain, the fear, the confusion, and the hell had all left. This freedom was one beyond my wildest dreams. I gave hugs as I learned to love and touch and be touched for the first time. I laughed as I learned the feeling of joy, and I looked through my eyes and saw beauty in the world for the first time. It was the first day of my life. Since arriving home from Rhythmia, the miracles continue to unfold. I can do a handstand for the first time ever, my surfing is astronomically better, and I cried in yoga at the ease at which my body moved. I don't want to say I didn't believe in miracles, but I certainly found the word annoying and never thought a miracle would happen to me. But in just 1 week, I received more miracles than I can even count, and to go along with it, 90 new friends who feel more like family.
Eric's story is so powerful. From the moment when he went up to Brad and was feeling tingling in his chest and his arm, and Brad told him to take off his shirt, and really kind of was able to finally get a touch from a man in the way that he needed it, right? I mean, you can never imagine, and he would never know that that's exactly what he needed at that very moment. And Brad may never know the impact that he had, and he might know of like, that's exactly what Eric needed at that moment. And then on Thursday night, going through the battles of kind of what he went through during his teens and early 20s, of going through really being involved with the sex that he's really wasn't interested in. Like, Eric is a straight guy who likes females, and had to go through and experience the challenges, the trials and tribulations of what he punished himself with in order to let go of Erica, who is no longer with us, and that was part of his freeing of her on Thursday night and Friday morning, and now he could just be Eric. And I love that, because he's an entirely new person, and just like seeing him Friday versus Saturday when we came in, like, you could see an entirely new human being, and like, that's so powerful. I hope this helps, because I wish I would have had a video like this before I had went, just to give some context. And even if you're not interested in going, I hope some of these stories and some of my journey inspires you wherever you're at to somewhat let go, to allow you to break through. Sometimes you need to get rid of stuff, and sometimes you need to, I talk about this a lot, like sometimes you need to take 2 steps back in order to take 10 steps forward. And for me, that was part of this process. I needed to go back a little bit, reconnect with my grandmother, and get a lot of clarity from her, and also do a ton of forgiveness to people in my life that I was holding grudges against. And that was kind of like cement in my shoes, preventing me from being able to sprint forward. And so now I feel light. Those shoes are no longer on. I've given a ton of forgiveness. I'm leading with love. I feel ridiculously energized and super ready to just go forward, and inspired to really take my life, my relationships, my businesses to the next level, really due to this entire experience and everything that I'm still processing and coming out of with this. And so, that being said, if you are interested in Rythmia, there's a link below, and again, I'll preface this, I don't get a dime from anyone who goes to that link or calls that number. It's there as a resource, and I want you guys to be able to find, I just talked about the entire experience, I want you guys to be able to find where to go to and what to do. I have no affiliation or I'm not an affiliate with them or get paid anything. But I just want you guys to have that as a resource. And if you have any questions whatsoever, any comments, I would love to hear from you down in the comments. Or you can hit me up on Instagram. That's where I'm active as well. And ask me questions. I'm happy to answer everything. And I just want to say a huge thank you to Jerry. I want to say a huge thank you to the Rythmia team for inviting me out. I want to say a huge thank you to all of my friends and colleagues who encouraged me to go. And said, dude, just do it. Why not start a new decade trying something new? And certainly it's a commitment. It's a financial commitment. It's a time commitment. And you need to understand that. But the breakthroughs that I experienced, the breakthroughs that so many others like Eric experienced, it's just invaluable. So that being said, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope this video touches at least one life. And if anything, it serves as a reminder for myself and my kids and my grandchildren down the road and my new family from Rythmia of the incredible experience, the incredible journey we shared together, and a very, very instrumental part of my life. So, love you, appreciate you, As always, make positivity louder, and never forget this: love speaks louder. Love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.